like a person buys a gigantic amount of food.
Oh, really?
It's like a ridiculous amount of food.
Okay.
And then they sit there and they eat it in front of the camera. So we're not technically mukbanging.
That's almost what we're doing. Okay, so we're at the taco shop on the Georgetown Square. And here's all the salsas that are complimentary.
Yes.
And you're the napkin holder. So already pre-napped up. And here's my tacos. And
Double shells with that.
Yes. So this is soft taco, refried beans, and then a beef taco inside. What do you have?
This one's a fajita. Got a grilled steak fajita taco. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, look at all that delicious steak. Oh.
Lovely.
And then this is it's like the Texan taco. Oh, it's just following a brisket.
Brisket shredded apart.
Beans and cheese.
Taco pass.
Look at it. Lovely.
And then you just tried some of the hot sauce samples that they have, because it's a hot sauce shop up front and then a taco shop in the back.
Their hot sauce is some of the best I've ever had, to be honest with you. Like, every time I'm here, I must buy multiple bottles to take with me. It's great.
So let's get a shot of that. Everything on the wall. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I tried. They have one called a Moroccan something. It was really good. It had like an Indian food flavor to it. And then one called the Dawn, which was very mild and tasty. I like it. I like it a lot. And then
I didn't
these,
try
what are
any of
these?
them. I don't
You
know.
which sauces these are?
I know that this one is much less hot than that one. The green one's the hot one. Oh yeah.
It's got a little smoky flavor to it, the red one. I like that. Nothing can stop Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if U.S. military bombs the teas, all the teas in the world, Taco Tuesday. Yeah.
In Texas?
Yeah. If we go war on teas, and then terrorism exists, but it doesn't exist.
Terrible.
Errorism.
Terrible. What makes this terrible?
I think I'm onto
Terrible.
something. Errorism.
That's funny because it's also, I mean, error is like it's an error.
Yeah.
This guy.
All right. So she asked me like, "Hey, what is your shirt?" I'm like, "That's Ski Cat."
I wasn't here for the Ski Cat days, but I've heard the tales of Ski Cat.
So hexdays.com. If you're a Hexacan and you either want to support Hexicans or you want to establish a shirt for a time period in Hex, you can decide a specific day. And so they're going to do 5,555 days. Hopefully, they'll have that many shirts. And I was talking to Saturn, who is the creator of hexdays.com, and he was like, "Hey, do you have any other ideas for me?" And I was like, "Hey, man, make your website into a calendar. And then we can go through and say, like, on this day, this event happens."
Yeah.
And then so, like, somebody can just scroll through the history of Hex, as well as maybe have some memorabilia. Now, if you have any days, I was just telling her this, if you have any days or ideas, and you want to do that sort of thing, but you're not a graphic artist,
Ideas, even.
then pause, laugh, pause, swallow, laugh, pause. You can go and get in touch with Saturn, and he's gonna polish the work before he sends it over to the printer anyway. So, like, that's what this one ended up being, was just like, hey, I've got this, and then he recolors it and stuff. Yeah. So, it'll be great whenever it is that the thing is calendared. And then we can have it to where like the people who in the community who are like our historians can go through and say like, hey, this happened this day, and on and on and on. Like a recent development was like when Godwell sent Bank X 80 million or 800 million hex, right?
Yeah.
So that's an example of an event, right? Or like pulse chain launch. And then to keep organized, this is where on the back here is where the day is stamped. And I've done like 3 of these now.
We did a Texas one, right?
Yeah.
Texas Mexican. I have that one somewhere.
Yeah, what color did you get? Was it pink or
It was pink, and
light
then I
blue?
actually dyed it.
Oh.
It was pink, and I'm not a big fan. I mean, I used to hate pink. I used to be that
Aftermarket
girl
work.
that did not
Oh.
ever want to wear pink.
The tomboy, but not the tomboy?
Oh, totally the tomboy.
Somebody
Yeah.
said they really liked your goth look when you were doing the
Yeah, I still pull that out every
ASMR,
now and
right?
then, depending on what stream I'm on. Like effing hangout nights, I feel like because it's RG and he's got the whole pirate thing going on, I feel like I can goth it up a little bit on that show. Yeah, but just and I was goth in high school, as goth as you could be.
I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. But so
Boots,
yeah,
not
pink was not a
flip-flops,
thing.
boots.
Yeah. I've allowed pink into my life now, right? It's fine. It's not too terrible. But I did dye it purple instead of pink. I think something happened and it got a little dirty too. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna dye this now.
You get any taco on it?
Probably. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Sounds right.
During the meetup, whenever I passed out those shirts, we came over here and had some drunken tacos. That was great.
Oh, it was great. It was very funny.
That was a lot of people's introductions to this taco shop.
Which is, I think, one of the best taco shops. I don't know, in this area. I like this one. I like Maria's. I don't know if it still exists. Remember Maria, the big statue downtown in Austin? I'm pretty sure it was Maria's Tacos. There's a statue of this woman coming out of the top of the building like this.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I think that one shut down, and they may have moved. I don't know if Maria, the statue, still exists. And then One in a Million.
Okay,
Austin,
so
downtown.
So she's telling me about these taco shops,
Yeah.
right?
They're all in
like
Austin.
because we live in like central and southern Texas,
Uh-huh.
there's tacos everywhere.
Everywhere.
Really good tacos everywhere. So I don't need to have to go to Austin for. No offense. Sounds great though. I'll go to Austin for like really good seafood.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you go for that?
The last really awesome place that I went to was called, oh gosh, it's similar to Mongrels.
Mongrel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's on Guadalupe.
Okay.
So on the backside of that Central Market that's over in the Hyde Park Central
Okay. Yeah.
Central
I know
Park
that
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quad. Yeah, there's no lack of delicious tacos or food in general. I mean, I remember moving here, and at the time I was a vegetarian, and I was worried because I was moving to Texas that I would not be able to find vegetarian food.
Cows.
But Austin is a mecca for if you are vegan or vegetarian. There's tons of great spots for that. But I eat the meat now. It's so good. I couldn't not. I mean, barbecue. So good. I bought venison today, actually. Yep. Little package of venison. Last
Love
week, the next
venison.
couple days.
Love it. If the world goes to shit, I'm gonna have a bow and arrow and be hanging a lot of venison around the house. And then if whatever tries to get a hold of that venison, that'll be dead too. So here's a fad that's happening: is a lot of people are recognizing that they have time to do things that they're passionate about, and include hex in the frame, in the picture when they're showing it off. I forgot what I saw recently that was talking about it, but I've been relaying it to some of the folks that, like, I think it's Super Hex Win.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like selling his bike that he didn't need, right? So he had a hex shirt on whenever he was showing off the bike. And then recently I've been doing live streams that have hex in the shot, but they're 3D printing, so I'm like watching my 3D printer. But I forgot what it was. Like, somebody was doing something, being creative, and then hex is like just roaming around in the picture in the background. Because if you go to like Twitter Spaces right now, people, they're not doing much.
Dumpster fire spaces?
Dumpster fire spaces.
I hosted my first spaces though. It wasn't terrible. I did alright. I love the soundboard, I'm not gonna lie. They were like, take this away from her. I'm like, no, you cannot. It felt like a DJ. It's fantastic. Oh, salsa's making my nose red.
So the only annoying thing about the soundboard is the little images that they give you.
Yeah.
They don't really relate the nearest that you would assume
No, they
to
don't.
what the sound actually sounds like.
No. Like, you would really have to guess. Like, I'm just gonna have to sit there one day and just press all the buttons and try and remember what they all sound like.
And so that was my real thought, was that if you're sitting there practicing while other people have to listen, but hey, you know, like, some people are less patient, you know. Maybe if you just chill out, you know, guard your time, but yet be generous.
I'm gonna open a space later tonight, just like SJ plays with the soundboard.
Yeah, why not?
That's what we're gonna do.
Why not?
I've loved the one thing I
And
have
she can
loved,
sing to it too.
I was just gonna say something that I really. In fact, there's karaoke tonight at Roots, which I might have to go do that.
Oh goodness.
But I've been in
Might be filmed from the far back, and she won't know.
There's been 2 different karaoke spaces hosted by completely different groups that I've joined.
Okay.
On Spaces. I thought that was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. I like to sing.
I don't know if I heard that from somewhere else or you first. Karaoke space. Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody was thanking somebody and was like, yeah, I think that's really neat. It's much better than just playing music. Mm-hmm. Like, whenever people are playing music, it's like, okay, I know the end of that song.
Yeah, which I was trying to, like, they also have, like, it's not similar but not the same thing, but like in the spaces itself, there's the option for you to play background music.
Yes.
And that didn't work for me. Like, I went in and originally it worked, but
yes,
then I would do something.
That's how it happens.
Oh, why?
It's, for some reason,
Just the beginning?
it's once you hit the mic on button.
Oh. Then you can't go back and turn it back on again.
Yeah.
You have to leave the space and come back if you want to.
It's just the filler there at the beginning.
At the very beginning.
While you're waiting for the room, it's like the little...
Elon, fix it. I want background sounds more.
It's like that little countdown that comes installed with StreamYard. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am enough for you.
So what do you want to... So, like, I encourage you guys, do the thing that you love doing and you involve Hex in the message.
Yes.
And go ahead and do it once, and then in time you'll think about doing it better and better and better, and you'll just have better iterations after a while. So, like, an example is Route 44 is selling cards on eBay, and I made him a card holder that has hex.com on it with a logo. So he'll include that in the shot. And then Trap Gravity asked me for one as well.
Nice.
because he's also getting rid of his cards. So Route 44 is like
Pokemon cards?
professional
What kind of cards are we talking about here?
baseball.
Okay. Not Pokemon.
So Trap's cleaning out, and Route 44 is actually professional. Keeps up with all the sports and everything that's going on. So if he has a card and new news hits and boosts the price of that card, he'll know about it.
Wow. That's a whole other... I love all the little niche things that people are into.
Chris Side Effects.
Love you, Chris.
He's tweeting about dub and bass.
Drum and
Say it.
Drum and bass.
Okay.
Brap. D&B.
So I really don't know much about.
Big up my drungalists. Ba, 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 ba.
So he's merging the two.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that there's a punchline coming. You know, he's going to figure out how to merge the two.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many drum and bass fans in our community. It's nuts. Richard himself, that's his favorite genre of music. It's Neurofunk, which is a drum and subgenre of drum and bass. I love it. I'm super excited because on Saturday, so the Pulse Chain Tour is going to Miami. Saturday is our Miami event. I just found out from a friend of mine that lives in Miami. Saturday night, for anyone that knows about drum and bass, Ronnie Size and DJ Craze are playing together in Miami on Saturday night. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make that happen. Those are two like dawns of the genre. Like they've been around forever. Like Ronnie Size kind of helped start the whole thing. Like big up.
So, what sort of era or message currently do you want to pass people?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
You're telling me to shill things? Or like just talk about like, you know, what's important.
Yeah, what's important?
Let's see.
Like if you had I don't know.
Like personal or hex related? I mean, my personal life is hex related. I guess that's part of it. You know, I just love the sentiment that you just gave, right? If you're gonna do something, do it, but involve hex somehow. And I gotta figure out kind of how to do that because, I mean, I did that song with Westcott, right?
Spend less time watching the price, stake your hex, and go do whatever it is that interests you. And we'll be here, and you're not going to lose your funds.
No.
So just go, keep a hold of your seed phrases, and go forward. Involve hex,
Yeah.
and we'll see you whenever the price is higher.
Exactly. If you do that, you have less of a chance of losing your coins because you're less interested in degenning, right? Less clicks on your computer that might take you to some malicious site, or you might click on some malicious link, right? If you're busy building in whatever, you know, whatever that looks like to you, right? I just wrote a couple songs. I've been trying to do that for my whole life. I love singing, and I've always had music just kind of flowing out of me. I've written little bits and pieces of songs over the years, over and over again, and finally for the first time I think part of it is having the work ethic finally to complete something, because it's always been just this little chunk of something, and I've never completed anything, but I finally feel like I have a complete song.
If you say you're going to write the book, start doing the rough draft. Start doing it, because like now's the time. We don't care to hear like, oh, you have ambitions towards this or that. I don't care.
Talk is cheap.
Yeah, actions are the most expensive. And so what I also wanted to say, whenever it is that I'm telling you to stake hex, is some people are looking at things and they're like, well, we don't know when the next bull market's going to come. So if it is that some of your stakes are ending, or you're purchasing some hex and you've got stuff that's liquid, yes, you're allowed to do rolling stakes. On Pulse Chain, it's less expensive to stake and unstake, stake and unstake. So yeah, you can do a rolling stakes. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Pulse chain makes Hex better. That's why it was built.
Just keep good record. Because I was just thinking about it today, like, I need to get my dad a Twitter account so that I can be sending him Twitter forwards to his inbox, so that I'll stop sending him emails that send him over to Twitter so much
Got you.
and
Yeah.
annoy him. And I started thinking about how I told him to go get on Facebook like 4 years ago or something like that. And my dad lost the password immediately. And
Oh,
then
parents. Such
and
a
then
bad
what did he
thing.
do? He set up another account, and now he's confused whether that account or this account is his real account.
My grandma did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's got like 3 or 4 of them.
So then all these people, like, they find him from high school, from being around town, they find him, and they're like, yeah, he never responded to my friend request. It's like, oh, well, he was unactive on that one that you chose to message him on. So anyway,
It's crazy.
take care with your keys.
Yeah, your keys and your passwords.
Digital security, digital custodianship is a real thing.
Yeah. I helped a gentleman who was one of my harvest hosts on my way back from Atlanta to here. He asked me about the pulse chain because he saw it on the side of the bus, and I guess he Googled it while I was there setting myself up. He comes over to the bus and he's like, "Hey, so are you still involved with this pulse chain thing?" And I was like, "Yes, why?" And he told me that he had bought some token, some Satama, something like that. I don't know.
Wolfpack.
Yeah, you knew what it was.
I knew what it was because our dumpster fire spaces interacted with their dumpster fire spaces for the slightest bit on the subject of crypto. So I got to hear their safe moon-like philosophy of, like, we stand together. I don't see them anymore. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it was interesting because I went down the rabbit hole. I wanted to know about this community and who they were, because Hex is my first crypto. Hex was my intro to crypto community, right? Like I did mess around with a little crypto back in the day, but just wasn't paying attention to the space at all. So at this point, I'm like, well, I'm interested. Like, what does this community look like, And what I saw was one main account that was like the Satama influencer or content creator. No word of, or no mention of, hey, this person's doing this and you should check out this. We have just the strongest, most diverse, inclusive, like radical community, y'all. Like it goes to show, when you look into a coin or try to see the history of these other communities and what they've done, there's just nothing there. There was nothing to see. I was just like, okay, well, that's a big nothing burger. But anyway, so he told me that he'd held this coin, and I was like, well, sir, you have a copy on Pulse Chain. So I sat there for the next half an hour helping him get Pulse Chain installed on his MetaMask.
Sweet.
And in that conversation, mentioned to him how important it is that he has his seeds on metal or something that's not,
Destructible.
digital. And it was, I can't remember, like the way he said what he had, it sounded secure. It was like it's some kind of password keyring thing, but then, like, is that secure? Like
Password keyring thing.
it was like a digital
digital.
pass. Yes,
That's interesting.
Yeah, some kind of digital passphrase key thing, which I think Crypto Kool-Aid also does something in that vein. He's got his whole. He sat me down and 5D chessed that to me one night, and I just
over some wine in a hot tub, so she
every
forgot
time.
it all.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll have to have him go over that. I would love to record him talking about how to do that, and then come out with my own. Let me explain it to you like I'm 5 and give you the step by step.
Right.
Because I'm good at that. That's actually, I did that for Staker app. I want to do it for Internet Money Wallet, and there was something else. Oh, Spritz.finance. Have you used that at all?
No.
It's I like it because I can pay my bills with crypto.
Boom.
I don't have the off ramp.
What I wanted to say about like us having so many facets to our community is recently, dang it,
Salsa knows.
I did want to talk about it, but I didn't hold it up front off my tongue to get it off.
The taco was too busy being on your tongue.
Yes. I want more taco right now. I haven't reached my taco quota. So just something about like how other communities, they don't have all these facets to seek information. The stuff's not documented. That just goes to show you that a good foundation can be built upon, as opposed to a bunch of BS, feel good, whatever, trick you out of your money, temporary fads. But it was something relative to that. It'll pop up later. So this was a new friend of yours, this host?
So what I've been doing is I bought this subscription in May, and it's called Harvest Host, and I pay a yearly fee, and it gives me access to farms, wineries, breweries, golf courses that all allow you to park your vehicle. It's for boondockers.
That's amazing.
Right? And then on top of that, I paid a little bit extra for what's called Boondockers Welcome, which is people's homes. So people open their homes up, and then you can park in their driveway or on their lot or whatever space it is that they have.
Okay.
And usually I'm doing Boondockers Welcome stuff because I would say, whereas the Harvest Host with the golf courses and the wineries and stuff like that, I'd say maybe 25% of those spots will allow me to plug my electric in or have water, right? Because it's usually just a spot for the night. Whereas the Boondockers Welcome hosts are, I'd say, 60 to 70% have electric and have water that you can hook up to. And for me, I have to have electric for the AC.
Can you stay longer than one night?
Most of them are 1 to 2 nights, but yes, okay. There are several. I think the longest is 5, but depending on the host, you can request again or whatever, and how much space they have. And
what do you get excited about when you see it? Like, are you seeing like images of each of one of the spots before you arrive?
Yeah.
So like, what is it that's like, oh, that's awesome. There's a great view. That it's near the beach. It's further out of town or in town or
all of the above. Llamas, being on a farm.
Okay.
Right? Like, I've stayed on several farms, which I love. And then, in fact, the host I stayed in last, which was in Louisiana on the way to here. Oh, no, that's not true. I stayed in Texas, too. But, so second to last host, they had a pig, they had quail, and they had chicken. So I got chicken eggs and quail eggs from them.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then a host of mine, and it's different every time. So my host in South Carolina, they made their own moonshine. So I had 2 containers of moonshine. I still have one. I'm just like, I gave a whole container to Cabana Crypto because I was like, I'm not going to ever drink any of this. Here you go, sir.
Too much for her.
Oh, I took 2 sips of this apple pie moonshine the other night, and I think I was on stream or something. And by the end, sips. I am not joking you, sips of moonshine. And by the end of the stream, I was like, huh? Because it's so intense.
Like teaspoons or tablespoons?
Like teaspoons.
Wow.
Yeah. No, not much at all. That stuff is strong. So there's that. And then the host I had in Mississippi was just the cutest old couple. They had been married since the woman was 16 and the guy was 18. So like 50 something years of marriage. And she was just as sweet as peach pie. I'll tell you what, I've never heard any country bumpkin talk that way. It was so cute. I was just like, oh my God, this woman is like my new best friend. And she sat and we talked, meaning she talked for like an hour and a half just about everything. You know, I asked their love story, how they met and everything. And the guy who looked like a combination of Elvis and Johnny Cash.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was just like this cute, like curly haired, like country girl, you know?
So how is it that an old person or an older person even gets listed on these sorts of things.
So they're just hip to the internet enough to do it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and they were also, a lot of these people are also RVers themselves.
Okay.
So they're aware of the RV community. In fact, that couple was. So they had, it was nice talking to them because they had a huge, their rig was like a bus size rig. It's an RV, so maybe even bigger. It was huge. And she was like, yeah, we get 7 miles to the gallon. I was like, yeah, me too.
All right, that's a deal.
Because the bus is heavy, you know? So like, yeah, we talked about different things, and it was, but the spot there was just, they have a huge piece of land, and then I parked the bus next to their little, like, it's like an open garage kind of thing. Like there was like rafters and just concrete, and then all this space that they had.
Yeah, a carport.
Yeah, basically like an open carport. But I parked on the dirt next to that, right?
Okay.
So I had open sky above me.
Yeah.
And then their whole lot is just full of these gorgeous pine trees. I went up to go adjust my Starlink at one point, and I just stayed there for at least a half an hour because I looked up at the stars and was like, this is where I want to be right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
And tell me what exact what state was that again?
Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the city off the top of my head, but yeah,
Nice.
just outside of Jackson. It was like south of Jackson.
Okay, so it was northern Mississippi. Jackson is. I actually flew in there one time to go to Ole Miss, and go to a frat and sorority parties with an old high school friend.
Nice.
Okay, so thanks for joining us for tacos.
Yeah, we tacoed.
And
look at this taco to salsa ratio. You got to drink that now. You know, you
gosh.
can't. No salsa can go on.
I left some of them.
I did drink my salsa though.
So keep hexakining, and we're with you.
Yeah.
See you later.